Welcome back to the channel, guys. So today I'm going to be sharing my favourite houseplants of April, and I have to say it was quite difficult this month, so I have quite a few to show you. In no particular order, first is my zebra plant, and the reason I've got this in my favourites this month is because it's growing so nicely, and you may have heard me talk about this in a previous video. It actually had a bit of drama a few months back. It lost all of its leaves, well, almost all of its leaves, and yeah, it was just reduced to basically a stalk with a few leaves at the top. So I'm just really pleased to see it growing so beautifully again. Look at all that beautiful lush new growth. It's got leaves coming in at the top here too. And these beautiful new leaves, they're just perfect. From my experience of this one going down a hill and losing all its leaves, what I learned is that it likes to stay moist and it does not like to dry out even for a minute. So yeah, it's just a case of learning really. But now that I've kind of worked out what this one really wants, it's really rewarding to grow. I'm just really enjoying this plant this month. Next is my little Syngonium. I think we decided this one was a Syngonium Neon Robusta. One of you suggested that and I kind of agreed once I looked up the images of it. I'm just really enjoying this plant right now. It's actually coming through with a new leaf at the moment, I can see. I can't really show you because it's very small just down here, but it does look like it's got some pink in it. And I'm just going through a bit of a pink houseplants craze at the moment. I've got my eye out for any and all pink house plants, but this one is kind of like one of my first ones. I also have the philodendron pink princess as well, and I really love that one. But yeah, I'm just obsessed with this one at the moment, and I had the idea to possibly pot this up with my Syngonium tricolour because I quite like the idea of potting up different Syngoniums together with slightly different variegation. That'll probably be something I won't do until next year probably, or the end of spring, summer, just because these plants need a bit of time to establish themselves before I start moving them around again. But it's certainly a creative project that I might do sometime in the future. I had to include this Aglaonema White Joy because I'm just obsessed with it at the moment. It's so pretty. I haven't seen any brown crisping yet, which was what I was worried about, to be honest, because with a lot of white plants you do tend to get brown crisping, but this one is just looking gorgeous. I know I haven't had it long, so maybe it will eventually start to go downhill, but I'm keeping my fingers crossed that this one will stay looking beautiful. But for the time being anyway, I'm just really enjoying this plant. It looks really beautiful. And I've got it in good bright and direct light, so hopefully it can keep this variegation. But yeah, I just love Aglaonemas. They're so cool. There are so many really nice varieties of Aglaonemas that you can collect, and this one is really nice. And I think this one often gets mistaken for a different Bacchia, and in fact I did the same thing when I was shopping for this one, and then I looked at the label and I saw that it was an Aglaonema. So I think Aglaonemas are probably a bit easier than Dieffenbachs. Not that Dieffenbachs are that hard to look after, but Aglaonemas are kind of known for being really easy going. So yeah, Aglaonema White Joy. Next is my Philodendron Brazil, and I've got this one in my favourites this month because I recently attached this one to this pole, and you can see it started growing up it. I have had to kind of attach it to it and train it a bit, but it's definitely going in the right direction, and I'm really happy to see this one growing. It's got loads of lovely new growth. I have this one situated in a window in my living room that's really bright, so it gets lots of good light. And I'm also fertilising it, of course. But yeah, this is where we're to at the moment. A new leaf is coming out here, so it's quite fairly near the top. I have to admit I was kind of umming and ahhing about whether I was going to keep this one on a pole, whether I was going to take it off because I prefer it trailing, but I'm actually really glad that I've kept it on here now because it's starting to look really nice, and I'm really enjoying watching it grow up the pole. it's exciting to see how quickly it grows. This one is a super fast grower, so if you're looking for a fast growing plant, this is definitely going to be one for you. And look how pretty those leaves are as well. It's just stunning, isn't it? But yeah, I'm curious to see how far up this pole this plant grows by the end of the growing season. Will it reach the top? Maybe it will continue to grow in winter, I'm not sure. I got this kind of at the end of winter, so I don't have a huge amount of experience with it yet, but yeah, it's definitely showing itself to be a fast grower so far. Next up is this pothos, and sometimes the best plants are just the most common and easiest plants to look after. And I know pothos is really common, but I really think it deserves a spot this month because it's one of those plants that is just really fuss free, and this one has got these beautiful neon leaves. This is the pothos neon, I believe, neon pothos, and yeah, I just love this. It really has that beautiful springtime feel with the gorgeous colour, and it really stands out. And yeah, it is just a pothos, but I'm really glad that I've got this one. I'm finding it really rewarding. It's growing really quickly, and of course most pothos do grow really quickly. In my experience, they can be a little bit finicky when you repot them. I think lots of plants do this, but sometimes they have a little bit of a time where they need to adjust and they don't grow very well when you repot them, but they usually bounce back pretty quick. I did repot this one when I got it because I've started repotting my plants when I get them. I didn't used to do this, but I've been finding that a lot of my plants, when I buy them from the garden centre, they've got terrible dense soil. They've also got netting very often around the root ball, and so I've started just repotting them as standard now because I always go to repot them, say, a few months down the line, and then I find all these things in there and think, why did I not just do that when I got it? So that's what I've been doing now, but this one seems just fine and it's growing really beautifully. Next plant is actually just here, and this is my Syngonium white butterfly, and I've got this one on my favourites list because it just grows so fast. If you want a fast growing plant, this one is the one for you. Definitely get yourself a Syngonium white butterfly. Also, this one is so good to propagate from. The propagations that I took from this plant, they are going so well. They root so easily. All you have to do is make sure you cut below a node where you've got an aerial root, and this plant will root so easily. You can use either water or soil, and yeah, you can see when it gets in its swing during the growing season, there are so many new growth points on it. It is just thriving. And yeah, it's just one of those plants that's really rewarding to keep and grow because it is a prolific grower. It's always fun to propagate from, and yeah, I would just highly recommend this one if you're looking for a really cool plant that will fill some space. Now, I can't actually remember if I had this variegated umbrella plant in my last monthly favourites, but either way it's in this month as well if that's the case. But yeah, I'm just really loving this one at the moment. It hasn't quite started growing yet because it's still adjusting, and I did repot it also the other day for the reasons I just spoke about before, and yeah, I gave it a good shower and a nice spa day. The reason I'm loving this one so much, I love my non-variegated umbrella plant. I really love it. These plants are some of my favourite plants. I don't know why, I just find them really pretty and really rewarding. But my other umbrella plant, it took probably about a year to get into its swing. The first growing season I had it, it did grow, but it didn't quite get prolific about its growing. But this year it's been growing like mad, so I'm kind of thinking this plant might be the same in that it will just take a little bit of time adjusting this year, and then next year it will really come into its own. But yeah, I just love this plant because it's an umbrella plant, but it's got this gorgeous variegation, so it's just like one up on the normal umbrella plant. And maybe next year I might pot both umbrella plants together, the non-variegated and the variegated. We'll see, not sure yet, but yeah, I do like that idea, and one of you did suggest that to me, so that's been in my head since you suggested it, and I think it's a really nice idea. But first I'm going to let this one do some adjusting and see how it goes. Maybe I'll propagate from them next year, I don't know. But yeah, absolutely love this one. Once again, I can't remember if I had this one in my favourites last month too. I don't think I did, because I think I got it during this month. I'm not sure, but yeah, this one, just loving it. It's the Chlorophytum orchidastrum. I have learned to say the name now. It took me a while, but now I've said it enough times that I can say it easily. But yeah, I just absolutely love this one. I'm really into orange variegation at the moment. I've also got my Philodendron Prince of Orange that has orange in it, but I just find some orange in a plant really beautiful right now. And this one, it's just got such a lovely form, the way it goes out, and the way just love the way this orange kind of goes up there into the leaf, and you've got the green against the orange. It's just really beautiful, and this one is the distant cousin of the spider plant, and in my opinion much nicer than the spider plant. Not that I'm dissing spider plants, because you know they're a classic, but I think this is even more beautiful in my opinion. And yeah, it's just definitely one of my favourites at the moment. Now I could probably just keep going on and include every single plant in my favourites list, because that's how I get for my plants. I just love them all. However, I'm going to leave it there, and I'm really interested to know what your favourite plants are at the moment. Please let me know in the comments, and I read them all, and I'll look forward to hearing what you guys are loving this month too. I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching, guys.